Remarkable, remarkable. It has been a major point of contention within the state about whether it was appropriate to build an airport or not. The leadership of the states, starting from Governor Ondi all the way to Oyebanji, were all aligned in one way or the other to the fact that we needed an airport, and it came to fruition. The fact that the Ekiti State is landlocked should not mean that we are airlocked. And now we are able to two things. I mean, it's an Agro-Allied airport, cargo airport. Its primary objective is to ensure that our agricultural products or other products can get out of Ekiti quickly enough. But in the first instance, people now don't have to go all the way to Akure to take a flight, a 30-minute flight. You spend almost 2.5, 3 hours on the road to take a 30-minute flight to either Lagos or Abuja. So that's it's a remarkable outcome. I believe every state needs to have its own airports. At some point, even every local government should be able to have an aerodrome. And so it's a good outcome. Yeah.
This airport was commissioned twice.
Well, it wasn't commissioned twice. That's part of the politics of the area. The first commissioning was a certification of the airport, of the tarmac. Okay? Governor Fayabi was leaving. He had spent quite some effort towards bringing it up to this level, I mean, at the commissioning, you found out that Oni mooted the idea and got, I believe, the area. Governor Fayose paid for it and paid some compensation, started some clearing. Fayemi got he moved it quite to some extent, got it started, got the runway, all the approvals on the runway, and just about when he was leaving, the first landings were on. So that commissioning was a proof of concept. Okay, and because he was leaving, I mean, there was a necessity to put a stake on the ground that this is what we have achieved before he left. So it was not really a commissioning of the airport. Even this one too is not really a commissioning of the airport.
Okay.
It was a commemoration of the first commercial flight.
Okay.
So Fayemi's Zone was a commissioning or a commemoration of the first landing.
Okay.
At the airport. So those are the.
So are we expecting a proper commissioning?
No, I mean the airport has started. I mean, United Nations Nigeria Airlines has its program, twice to Lagos and once to Abuja, and but you always check. Everybody who wants to go to Abuja or Lagos just needs to check their website to see what the program is, and they take a flight. Now I can be in my office and say the flight is at 9:30 or whatever it is. I leave at 8 o'clock or 8:30. In fact, I don't even need to leave at that. I may just call the airport and say, "Shoti kuro ni Eko," or and 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I'm there, rather than having to leave from Ado 1 hour or 1.5 hours before the 2 hours that the plane is supposed to leave. And sometimes you go there and 2 hours you are waiting at the airport. So you can spend a total of 8 hours to and fro for a 30-minute flight. So it's a remarkable. But we in Ekiti gained. And when you go to Akure itself, the previous time, you will find out that a lot of Ekiti people use the airport in Akure.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that beats.
So now there is a minus for the Akure airport.
Not really. It depends on the schedule. Before, the schedule in Akure could require you to stay in Abuja.
Okay.
2 more days, 3 more days because of the schedule.
Okay.
But now that you have a schedule in Ekiti and a schedule in Akure, you can actually sometimes choose to go to Akure to fly to Abuja and come back the following day to Ekiti.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So it's, I mean, even in developed countries, there are many places where the airport is more than 1 hour, 2 hours, even from your home.
Mm.
So not to talk of it, it's just because it's another city.
Yes.
That's why we are concerned. So it's not a minus for Akure or a minus for Ado.
Okay.
If the volume of services increases, you'll find that in fact it could be a plus for both of them. Volume of service, you'll find that in fact it could be. They built on top of each other. If Oni had not mooted the concept, if Fayoshe had not paid for the compensation, if Fayemi had not moved it on, if continuity, if Governor Yebanji had not continued the what Fayemi finished, we wouldn't be where we are. You know, the resistance to the airport was not easy.
Resistance.
Yeah, well, the resistance. I mean, because you will see what he said. We spent almost 49 billion naira on this airport. That's in addition to what Fafe Babalola spent. He spent, I think, $1.3 million on some LIM limbs, and he spent another, I don't know, 300 million or so.
Within the 40, we know outside
of the 49 billion. So it's a lot of money for a state as small as ours. And you know how Ekiti people are. We are small monies cost us really are big. I mean, we don't, our budgets are not big. So when you hear 49 billion naira, it's a lot of money. But leadership sometimes requires that you do things that are not particularly popular. Because 20 years down the road, nobody will remember all these controversies.
Yes.
They'll just know that we have an airport. And if you go to the airport, you'll see it's a very good airport. It's well built, it's clean, far cleaner than Akure Airport. It will remain like that for a long time if it is maintained, and it will be maintained. Yeah.
The 49 billion is the accumulation of
from the very beginning.
From the very beginning.
From the very beginning. If you read what the governor said, he stated out how we've been spending it. And he also mentioned that without the new government under Tinubu,
yes,
the last bits of monies that were supposed to have been spent to get it to this point was because we had some excess additional funds from the removal of subsidy. You know, I mean, the state budget has increased 5 times within the past 5 years. I mean,
5 times.
I remember that during the COVID, we actually reduced our budget to 90 billion naira under FIME because the budget of 2020 was, I think, 120 billion. But because of the COVID issues, we had to do a supplementary budget that reduced it to 90 billion naira. Our budget for this year is 413 billion naira. That's almost 5 times in 5 years. I don't even think the national budget increased by that much. So we have gained from the subsidy removal, and I believe that the government is using the money wisely. And I believe that the government is using the money wisely. The cargo portion has a federal government input. You know, you remember that when the airport started, it was posited as really call commercial
Okay.
airline. Then at some point, the federal government announced that it wanted to have a cargo airport, one per
Region?
geopolitical zone.
Geopolitical.
And so here we were already doing an airport, so we bidded for it, and it became an Agro-Allied cargo airport. We had all the reasons to be able to win such a bid.
But it was not the original intention.
It was, I mean, you can build a commercial, you can build a cargo airline, and it will always be you can always still use it for normal commercial. But you may be able to build a commercial without being able to build a cargo, because of the length of the runway, its width, all the aprons and so on. I believe that even right from the very beginning, it had been meant to be cargo. I mean, it would have been meant to be able to eventually hold cargo, but it was not posited as a cargo airline. But when the federal government did this issue of having one federal cargo-allied airport per geopolitical, we won it. We now went full force for that. I don't believe that the federal government has come full force through with the cargo, but that will come in time.
But now it is the responsibility of the state itself to work towards generating agro-allied products. Am I right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
What is
the government doing in that area?
I mean, I mentioned, first, the special agricultural processing zone is in that area. The effort of the state to ensure that all the strategic products that Ekiti has, rice, yam, cocoa, cassava, tomatoes, all of those in that area are being uplifted. Youth in agriculture, for example, there's a lot of effort going on in that area.
People of the fountain.